Welcome to a course on calculus. In this lecture, we are going to continue with the discussion on discontinuities. Hope you remember what discontinuities are from the previous lecture. That is, if a function fails to be continuous at a particular point in a domain, that point is called as the point of discontinuity. And we have seen that there are several types of discontinuity, and in the previous lecture we have seen the discontinuity of the type removable. That is, we have seen the removable discontinuity. What do we mean by a removable discontinuity? That is, if a limit at a particular point exists to a function and is not same as that of the function evaluated at that point, then we say that the function is having a removable discontinuity at this point. Okay, so this is, suppose if these things are equal, this is f of c. Okay, if these things are equal, then we say that the function is continuous at the point c. Okay, so in order to be continuous at a point, we must have the limit exist at that point, and the limit value is same as that of the function evaluated at that point. Okay, when these two are different, we land in a removable discontinuity. Next, we are going to see discontinuity of first kind. Okay, the discontinuity of first kind, discontinuity of second kind, and the other type all depends on what? It is going to depend on if the limit does not exist. Right? If the limit does not exist, what happens? Okay, when do we say a limit exists at that point? If x approaches c, this exist means then we will have what? X approaches c plus of f of x, and limit x approaches c minus of f of x. These two values has to be same, and then we say that the limit exists at that point. Okay, what is the c plus and c minus? Let us have a quick recap. This limit x approaches c plus of f of x is nothing but limit h approaches 0 of f of x plus h. C plus h. So you are evaluating the function at a point which is very close to c. That it means. Okay, in the positive side. Similarly, limit x approaches c minus of f of x is limit h approaches 0 of f of c minus h. This means you are evaluating the function at a point which is very close to c from the negative side. Okay, if these two values are equal, then we say that the limit exists at that point. Okay, now the question comes is that limit does not exist. Okay, suppose limit does not exist at a point means how many possibilities we have. Okay, let us do that part here. Okay, this may exist. Okay, this may exist or may not exist. This may exist or may not exist. Okay, suppose if these two things exist, now the case is that limit x approaches c f of x does not exist. That limit, this limit does not exist. Then what are the possibilities we have? That is what we are seeing. Okay, these two exist, but still it does not exist in the sense limit x approaches c plus of f of x may not be equal to limit x approaches c minus of f of x. If this is the case, then this limit does not exist. Okay, this is one possibility, and this kind of possibility we are going to see in discontinuity of first kind. Right? The other possibility may be what? This may not exist. Okay, this may not also exist. So based on this, we are going to have the classifications of discontinuities in the upcoming lecture. As of now, in this lecture, we are going to consider this kind. Okay, that is, okay, let us define it formally. A function f is said to have a discontinuity of first kind at x is c if limit x approaches c plus of f of x exist and limit x approaches c minus of f of x exist, but limit x approaches c plus f of x is not same as that of limit x approaches c minus of f of x. Okay, that is the right hand limit and the left hand limit of a function at a point exist, but they are not equal. Okay, now let us see an example. Let us consider the ceiling function and the floor function. Okay, what do we mean by a ceiling function? Okay, let us denote this by ceiling function and let us denote this by floor function. Okay, it is, you will have to choose the greatest number which is an integer to this x, but this is the smallest integer. For example, suppose this is, I said this is ceiling, right? And this is floor function. Suppose you have a real number x in the sense, you will have, this will be your ceiling and this will be your floor. The ceiling and floor are integer quantities. You may have this as well. Okay, and this goes this way and this goes this way, out of which we are taking these two things. That is, if you consider 2.5, what is the greatest number to it, but it is the minimum possible integer. This is smaller than or equals 3. You have these many possibilities, out of which 3 is your ceiling value, right? And here 2, 1, you have something of this sort. This is your floor value. Okay, if you are asked to find the ceiling of a particular number, ceiling and floor are integer quantities. That gives you, that function gives you an integer quantity. That integer quantity is what? You will have to find out the least possible integer which is greater than this x. That is ceiling. Least positive integer which is greater than x. And floor means it is the largest integer. Okay, actually it is not a positive integer, it can be negative also. It is the least possible integer which is greater than x, and it is the greatest possible integer which is smaller than x. Okay, supposing we talk about minus 2.7. If it is so, you will have 2 here and minus 2 here and minus 3 here. So your ceiling is minus 2 and floor is minus 3. Okay, and this is how we calculate these things, and let us examine the continuity of the ceiling and floor functions. Okay, let this be my function 1 and let this be my function 2. Here actually what is given is that my f of x is the ceiling function. Okay, here let me have this as g of x. Here my floor function is my g of x. Okay, here if we try to plot this in a graph, what happens? Let us see that. Okay, okay, let me take 0. For integers, what is it going to be? The same value will be the ceil as well as the floor. Okay, when it is 0, my c. Okay, let me mark ceiling function in black and floor function in blue. Okay, between 0 and, if I take any value between 0 and 1, what is going to happen? So just a minute. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have something of this set. Minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. I have something of this sort. Okay, what is it going to happen? And let this be 1, 2, 3, 4, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4. Okay, fine. When my x value lie between 0 and 1, what is my ceil? It is 1, right? So for 0 it is going to be here. if it is any value which is very smaller than 0 also, okay, what happens? The seal will be 1. So from here to here my seal, the function will be like this till 1. After 1 what is going to happen? Even if it is 1.0001, the seal is 2. So it is like this. And similarly between 2 and 3 I will have like this. Between 3 and 4 I will have like this. So here it will be like this, this, and this. Okay, I have approximately marked it, and let us see about the floor function. Okay, between 0 and 1, what is floor? If it is 1, the floor is also 1. But between these two values, this is going to be my floor. 1 and 2, what is the floor? The floor is 1, right? So this will be my floor. Between 2 and 3, this will be my floor. Between 3 and 4, this is my floor. Okay, and similar between these two things, this is my floor. Now in the graph you may visualize that the black lines represents the ceiling function and the blue lines represents the floor functions. Now let us take any integer. Here my C is any integer. Okay, C plus I am evaluating, C minus I am evaluating. What is it going to be? Okay, it can be any integer, I said. Okay, let us choose any point 2. Okay, I am talking about 2 plus in the ceiling case. Okay, 2 plus in the sense it will lie here, hence my value is going to be 3. So it is this quantity plus 1. So it is C plus 1. Okay, C minus in the sense we have been spoken about 2, right? So 2 I am taking which is smaller than 2. So it lands in 2. So this was 2. So 2 minus is also 2. I get C plus 1 and C. Whereas what is my limit x approaches C plus of g of x and limit x approaches C minus of g of x. Here you may see, again you may take any point. Okay, let me take 3. What is floor when it is 3 plus? 3 plus in the sense I will have to look at the blue value, it is 3. So it is C plus is simply C. Okay, 3 plus gives me 3 and C minus gives me what? 2. So it is C minus 1. Okay, here you may see that the C plus 1 and C is not equal. Similarly, C and C minus 1 are not equal. Therefore, your f of x and g of x has discontinuity at integers, at actually all the integers of first kind. Okay, here while defining this discontinuity, we may further classify this into discontinuous from right and discontinuous from left and discontinuous at both the ends. Okay, how are we going to do it? Okay, we are saying that these two are These two are not equal. Suppose having this, that is, these two are not equal, but still this is same as that of this is same as that of f of c, which means it is continuous from what? In the right it is continuous. It is called as right continuous. Okay, and this, if this is equal, we say it is left continuous. If it is continuous from the right, it means it is discontinuous from the left. The opposite term will be replaced. Okay, your right side limit is same as that of function evaluated at that point, means it is right continuous, and the same goes for left continuous. When the function is right continuous, it is discontinuous from the left. Okay, here you may see what is f of c and what is f of c. Be it seal or floor, function evaluated at that point gives me the same point if it is an integer. That is what the definition of ceiling and floor. Okay, you may have seen in all the cases, right? So be it ceil or floor, the function value at integers is that integer only. So here what are you having? You have your limit, this case is this. So it is left continuous, which means it is discontinuous from right. Okay, and this case g of x is discontinuous from left, as these two are equal. Okay, this is g, right? These two are equal, right? Hope you have had the understanding of discontinuity of first kind. In the upcoming lecture, we will work out few problems on the discontinuity of first kind, and then we will move to the discontinuity of second kind. Thank you for watching.